According to sources, there's really just one major problem that's causing a lot of consternation in the current marriage, of course, of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, otherwise known, of course, as Harry and Meghan. And when you think about it, it's one as old as the hills, and more importantly, of course, it's all about one-upmanship, supremacy, and the good old-fashioned, truly, who is the most popular. As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much as ever for joining me today. And thank you, by the way, for your lovely comments regarding the recent interview with the brilliant Tom Parker Bowles. I really did enjoy having another sit-down chat with him. Wonderful guy, you know, very, very down to earth. And what I like about that is when he's telling you stories about the monarchy, you know he's telling it from a sort of perspective as you and I would have it, thinking, oh wow, you know, that was really exciting, or he could see this part at the coronation. You think, oh, that's interesting, you know, rather than sort of normally the royal reporter thing of, oh yes, it was marvellous. You think, no, what was it really like behind the scenes? I'm glad you enjoyed it though, thank you, and I will pass on all your kind comments to Tom. He would love to know that you enjoyed it too, so thank you, really, it's been very kind of you. This, as I say, is a big bone of contention over in the land of Montecito, because it's really all about two things, you know, it's whether you're in, you're out. And I've told you before, the problem with Meghan and Hollywood is she was never in Hollywood, she was in Toronto in Canada, way down the cast list of a soap opera type show. But of course over here they decided to spin it as Hollywood star. You know, she'd had bit parts, very, you know, racy bit parts as well, desperado parts in certain movies. Of course marrying into royalty should have changed all of that and really increased her value. But as she's finding out now, it's simply not the case. Now, moving forward, what's been fascinating to see is simply this. As we've seen, Princeharry recently made a disgrace of himself, but not one, but two occasions to my knowledge recently. First off, of course, the fake tattoo with the country star Jelly Roll to try and push Invictus. That really was going nowhere. And I think what the idea behind that was simply, well, you know, it showed him as a fun guy. The other one, of course, was the Jimmy Fallon's Nightmares. That normally goes every night on NBC, but apparently they launched a Halloween-themed ride experience. Didn't do particularly well. But what's done well out of it, and this is where it's interesting, is Princeharry. You see, advertisers have been flocking since those things, saying, look, we kind of, you know, we'd offer you whatever you wanted if you want to get on board. Now, whether you like this or not, I thought Princeharry gave a really good performance in that Jelly Roll video. He could act his way out of it. Didn't agree with the expletives, but I thought he was kind of believable, you know, and so that's really resonated, as I say, with advertisers. They believe he could do anything from hair restorer to razors to fragrance to whatever he wants to do. And these sort of offers are coming in thick and fast. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is his wife, Meghan Markle. She believes that they should have come into her. You know, the ambassadorial roles, the L'Oreal deals, the Cartier, you know, the Dior. That's what she thought was going to be coming her way, literally from putting out a fuzzy video for a brand American Riviera Orchid. And what's fascinating now is if this was a real couple, as it were, if this were together, you would just think, well, does it really matter who brings home the bacon? If he could rake in all of this money independently, why would it matter? The other problem is Harry's not interested. He doesn't want a life really in the Hollywood spotlight, but he's clever enough to know he needs some money. So whether you want to think of this or not, he may have his arm twisted once again if the price is right. And apparently the price was right, particularly for the Nightmares, you know, the NBC thing. But for Meghan, of course, that's stewing at home, looking at empty pots of jam, wondering how she's going to fill them in her time. This is not playing out well. And according to that source, this is what's making the marriage crumble inside even further. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.